Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy, the DFS Overlord, back again with another video. Today is Wednesday, February the 8th. I'm coming back at you with 3 new NBA player props to play for today's slate. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first player prop that I'm going to be looking at today is going to be coming from the Boston Celtics, and I'm looking at Robert Williams here and his rebounds. I'm looking for him to go over 8.5 rebounds in this game. Now, Robert Williams has been averaging 10.2 rebounds over his last 5. You see, in his last game, he was able to pull down 15 against Detroit. He had 12 against New York, and Philly is ranked 28th in the league in rebounds. Although they have Embiid, I noticed that a lot of centers pull down a lot of boards. The centers, power forwards, bigs, they pull down a lot of boards. Embiid gets his numbers as well, but I always see that the opposing team big always gets their numbers. Now, I expect Robert Williams to play in the 30s as far as his minutes because, like I said, he's going up against Embiid. They're going to need that big presence on the court. And by these teams being two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, I like this game to have more of that, like, playoff vibe, you know, coming down to the wire. I know that Boston is favored by like 4.5. So I think it's going to come down to the wire. I like Robert Williams to go over 8.5 rebounds and get 9. Let's go to our next play. So the next player that I'm looking at is Jimmy Butler. Now, they don't have his fantasy score on here as of yet, which I kind of would want to see what that is to maybe target his fantasy score. But I'm going to go ahead and target his points to go over 23.5 and get 24. Now, you know, he's playing that Indiana team. They're ranked 24 in points allowed, and they've been allowing 122 points a game. I mean, Miami is at home. Jimmy Butler has been averaging 24.4 over his last 5. As you see, he just went over 30 in his last matchup against Giannis and the Bucks. So I really like Jimmy Butler to be able to get 24. But the reason that I said I would also really consider his fantasy score, because when you're thinking about playing somebody's fantasy score, you got to look at their blocks and steals and their turnovers. Because, you know, with Prizepicks, turnovers take away points, and blocks and steals is worth 3. Look at his steals right here, man. He has a steal. He averages 2 steals a game, if I'm not mistaken. Can't see it on here. I was looking at it on my phone. But look, in every game, he's having three steal games, 2 steal games, 5 steal games. Even got some blocks up in there. But like I said, these turnovers, we see that he can have 0 turnovers, which is good. But then this 3 turnovers right here, that'll be -3. So right here, if you look at the steals, that's 6 points, but then you got to take off 3. That's 9 points, but then you got to take off 2. That's 7 points, but he had to block 2, so it's actually 10 points. So as long as he can get more blocks and steals, or at least if he gets 1 block and 1 steal, he can get 3 turnovers and they'll negate. But if he gets like 3 total blocks and steals combined, and he only has, like, even if he has like 4 turnovers, that's still going to be good. And also too, when you're dealing with Jimmy Butler, you know you're going to get the peripherals, you're going to get the rebounds, you're going to get assists, things like that. So like I said, I will come back to Prizepicks later on and check on his fantasy score, see what they have that line at. But I think that we could be safe playing the points and having Jimmy Butler go over 23.5 points at 24 for this player prop. Let's go to our last prop of the day. So for our last prop of the day, I'm not going to lie, it took me a long time to decide between PG and Kawhi Leonard. I think that either one of these guys can go over their point total. Let's just look at them real quick. So Kawhi, he would have to get 26. He's been averaging 28.2 over his last 5. And honestly, he's just been shooting the ball more and better than Paul George. As you see, he has 3 30-point games, over 30-point games in his last 5. Paul George has been getting back in the mix too. As you know, Paul George was actually averaging about like 27 or 28 like through December before he got hurt. And also too, man, all he would need to get is 24. You see, he went over that total against Brooklyn and New York in his last 2. But I think that I'm going to side with Kawhi Leonard here, because I just think that, like I said, he's been shooting the ball better. It seems like he's dropping more points, and they're playing a Dallas team who is supposed to have Kyrie Irving starting today, but I mean, let's be honest, Kyrie Irving isn't like a defensive guy like that. They lost Finney Smith because they sent him off to the Nets. That was like one of their best defenders on the team. So I definitely like one of these guys to go over, if not both of these guys to go over. But I'm going to just go with the hot hand, the claw, you know, with Kawhi. He always plays in the mid to high 30s. Like I said, Dallas is a little short-handed. They're going to need to figure out how they're even going to work Kyrie into this rotation. You know, that takes a lot of just figuring out. I know a lot of times teams get a superstar and everybody just thinks, oh, they're going to the championship, but they're going to have to figure that thing out. Plus, I know that the sports books also favor Kawhi to go over more than Paul George. I'm on props.cash. As you can see, they got him at a -115. They actually got the under favored for Paul George. So that's just a little metric I'll take into account in just making this decision for today. Like I said, I like both of them, but I'm going to go with Kawhi. So these are pretty much the 3 player props that I'm going to be going with today. Like I said, Robert Williams to get 9 rebounds. Jimmy Butler, I really want to see that fantasy score, but I'll go with the points at 24 points, over 23.5. And lastly, Kawhi Leonard, over 25.5 at 26. These are our player props for the day. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and drop it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, man. I've been dropping these videos daily. Player props, man. Let's run it up. Let's get the bag. And with that being said, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Happy betting, people.